All right, let's go ahead and welcome to the stage your first squad. Put your hands together for Leviatán. And I'm excited to see what these two new faces can bring to the team. You heard them in the interview with Elizabeth earlier where they were talking about, Okeanos was talking about the stability that he's looking to bring to the team. Sato talking about how they're easy to work with. Alexis is a great opportunity for these two young men to show exactly that.
Absolutely, and I feel like their whole team has a lot of players who can play a lot of different roles very confidently. So I think that they'll take advantage of that in this meta where things are kind of being moved around and you can play a lot of different things. I feel like they might take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, plenty of opportunities for this Leviatán lineup, plenty of options, and if anything is any indicator, their opponents are going to have a tough one here. But let's go ahead and bring them out. Welcome to the stage, Loud. And now, as we had mentioned previously, right, both teams going into this one, Mimi, with new looks. Even if it was swapping out a couple of members here and there, it's significant, especially when you talk about them needing to gel together so quickly.
And for Loud, that is big, but it was a low for this organization last stage. It's true for both of these teams. So for stage 2, this is really about redemption. Both organizations have won a title in Americas before. Both organizations have been mainstays at global events in the past.
Yeah.
But now they're digging deep, investing in new talent, taking risks to try and put it all together in time for Champions Paris.
I think this game is going to show who has meshed faster, who has been grinding now, and going into it seeing where that ends up.
Yeah, for sure. And here is your map layout. Here we got Bind and Ascent if necessary. We'll be taking a trip to the frozen tundra of Icebox, but no Corrode here. Actually going to be the first one banned by Leviatán. They do not want to play on the new map here. What does that tell you, Mimi?
Honestly, it just tells me that they are a new team that is just trying to put everything together, and it is really just trying to prioritize what maps they could get going. That's something where you do have a lot of time, right? It's not a tournament, it's week by week. You can implement that one later if you want to, and maybe they know something about Loud playing it that we don't as well.
These teams probably have 1,000 Bind and Ascent reps. It's not something where you need to, server time, a bunch of different setups and strats. Like it's come pretty naturally to these players because the map has been out for so long.
I think it's a lot easier when you are adding, especially like rookie young players into the team, to go back to basics to some extent and play maps they're familiar with and just put the whole team in a more comfortable position.
Yeah, smart call for sure, right? Both teams leaning more into those, as we believe, leaning more into, the comfort of, the first map in the game, right? And then, of course, one of the most stable maps in the game with Ascent.
For sure. Such an interesting story for Robbie BK, now being the IGL of Loud, was a tier 2 player for most of his career. Got an opportunity to briefly come up and play with General Mates, but after a kind of rough early start this year, gets benched from that team. Doesn't get to play stage 1 in EMEA, and now is making his Tier 1 re-debut on his second ever organization in a new roster, a completely different situation than he's played with in the past. And as a leader as well, that's a lot to kind of bring over to adjust all this new stuff and try and implement your system all in time to make it click.
Robbie BK is going to have some insane lore by the end of this. I can't lie. He's been all over at this point.
Yeah, the book is going to be really good. I tell you what, the whole time I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, this ain't your father's Loud. This ain't your father's Leviatán. What a big change from when we saw these teams introduced, years ago till now. I mean, the fact that Loud, a very proud Brazilian organization, will be calling completely in English just goes to show you where the pool and where the necessities, rather, for a lot of these players are going to be moving forward, right? Being able to communicate, so imperative here. And here are your agents, and we should maybe be seeing some fun stuff here, hopefully.
What are you thinking of this for Leviatán, Alexis? They're going for a double scan comp with the Gecko Fade. This was pretty popular last year, but I honestly expected more teams to go like solo initiator into this meta.
Yeah, agreed. I definitely wasn't expecting the Gecko. It looks like both teams are playing Gecko. That's kind of crazy. They're both going for the double flash. It's really, really strong to use both flashes at the same time because then they're definitely blind.
Yeah, what's the difference then playing with the Sky Gecko combo that looks like what Loud's going for versus this like the Fade Gecko combo?
I think that Gecko Sky is going to play a little bit faster, I want to say. I feel like Fade tends to be a bit more slow play-y. Yeah. I feel like the Sky Pop Flashes with the Gecko Goop is going to be a good combo for them.
Leviatán are going to get stability with Okeanos pretty much always playing Smokes, Sato pretty much always playing Duelist, but they're they've got to be so thankful to have a player like Tex who can slot into any role. Here he's playing Initiator. He'll normally be playing Sentinel. There's so many different roles that this guy is comfortable on, even being a past duelist player himself. Such an asset to any team in this meta.
Yeah, this is a meta where having versatile flex players is going to be so important, and it's going to give you a leg up into other teams.
Yeah, it goes to show just how important, as we always note, that versatility is. When you're able to bring that to your team, give your squad those options, it really, really does play off for you guys in the end.
What do you make of no Sentinels in the server? This was popular before, but that was kind of before people were playing as much like Deadlock and Vise as we're seeing now.
It is pretty common on Bind, but I will say I feel like Deadlock is one of those agents that is disgusting on Bind.
Especially since the changes to make her net refreshable.
Yes, absolutely. So I was a little surprised to see no Deadlock, but I do kind of see what they're going for with the double flashes.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun kind of a read on which method works in this situation, right? And also whether or not, you know, who locked in the, was it? Yeah, it was Loud who locked in the, oh my God, the Gecko.
They both are playing a Gecko, one with the Fade, one with the Sky.
The Sky, sorry. The Sky, as we were talking about, allows you to go a little bit faster.
Sure.
So I'm curious if they're actually going to take advantage of that, right? And maybe play into some of those gaps that could be present with Leviatán.
Yeah, they're also sticking to a race comp, whereas Leviatán have gone to this Yoru, who's still super strong, and we saw Sato play a lot of when he was back with M80 as well there. So pretty interested to see how this one is going to kick off here, as both teams going for their own little look at the double initiator.
Yeah, all right. Well, folks, we're locked in, ready to go. So let's go ahead and welcome your casters to this one. It's a new duo. We got Doug and Ender, or N-Doug.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. I think, Ender, as we take a look at this match, we've got to talk about expectations. And you take a look at Leviatán at the beginning of the year, given how they performed last year, expectations were they were competing for hardware.
Oh, yeah.
And what a fall from grace that's been.
Yeah, crazy, right? With the signings of D1D1 now out of the roster, Leviatán have a lot of ground to cover. Both of these teams are coming in to this match with major roster changes, and you have to hit the ground running here and prove that the changes you made are going to give some hope for this team to have a threat in the postseason.
Only 5 chances to make right on their demons from the past. Verdi already satcheling out onto the side.
Triple C's.
They've got a lot of people here too. Shower's control is there. Leviatán cracked the site, cracked the round wide open. 3 kills already going their way. Loud left limping. With only Pancada and Kawanzin to try to solve this problem. A numbers equation that is not in their favor.
And a flank coming in too from King. Pancada has to deal with this, but he's turned the wrong direction. And here comes King, easy kill for him. And the rest of the round's gonna fall apart. It's LEV on the board.
Very decisive. You saw Leviatán dig their heels in on A as soon as they realized that's where the hit was coming from. Winning all of those those fights out, certainly bodes well.
I like you guys a lot.
And Calms, I hope we get to see it in the clip here. Calms seizing up 3 players as they come into the site. You know, the desk was talking about how effective he has been as an initiator. In a lot of comps, he'll be a solo player for these teams. And for Leviatán here, but the rest of the kills just became so easy once they were all bundled up into that tight little space.
I think between the C's that you mentioned and then the smokes, just doing such a good job at denying some of those sightlines, made it free.
I also just loved, you know, hearing from Sato and Oki in the pre-match. Just great vibes all around from Leviatán. Feels like they're coming in here without too much pressure on their shoulders. Obviously have a lot to prove, stepping onto the stage for the first time, but they seemed really level-headed before this match.
That seems to be carrying over. What are your thoughts on the comp differences here? I know the desk touched on it a little bit, but you've got the Gecko Sky versus the Gecko Fade.
I mean, honestly, to me, I think initiators, Alexis did a good job talking about, you know, how the Sky can play a little faster with the flashes. To me, it's the duelists that changed so much. I think that Yoru feels great on the defensive side for sure. Could be effective on this map, but I am a little concerned once we move over to the attacking side. Raze gives you a little bit more mobility to like dive over top truck into the backside of A, whereas Yoru has to take things much slower, so you're really looking to be more explosive around ults than you are just round to round.
Well, let you know. They have lost control of U-Haul,
dear.
And if there were any questions before, Verdi has certainly set off the alarms. 2 great kills with the Sheriff and more damage to be done. Make that 3 for the Duelist. And all of a sudden, what seemed secure is up in the air.
I'm sorry, we're getting ace chance, legitimate ace chance, when Loud have come up with an eco off of 3 Sheriff kills. LEV are saving in the second round. They won Pistol Duck, and they're saving 2 guns. That is ridiculous.
I want to talk about expectations again, because, and this is something I'm going to want to touch on a lot, because, again, the expectations for both of these teams, especially at the beginning of the year, in some ways couldn't be more different. For LEV, their intent is to compete for hardware. They make these massive roster signings, and if you had told me at the beginning of the year that at week 1 of Stage 2, LEV and Loud would have won the same amount of series in 2025, I would have called you a liar.
Yeah, it would sound silly. It would sound silly. But it just feels like neither of these teams have been able to fully gather themselves, right? There's actually 2 teams that have had Ospas in the roster, right? And since his departure from Loud, they've been making change year on year. Sato going over to Europe. Now I love how Mimi was talking about Robbie coming in, the IGL exchange. Leviatán, too, have not been able to put together 5 players, and that's got to be the hope now, proving that they've finally used the off time between the stages to put together a competitive team.
My concern with all this, too, is getting ecoed in round 2.
Not fun.
No, not fun at all.
Getting mowed down in round 3 after that, also not very good.
Loud, kind of feel the walls closing in. Tex has gone exploring, but the timing is not great. Look, Show takes care of business.
Yeah, you've got to be very mindful of your flanks on the attacking side when you're not playing with any sort of Senti on bind. 4 different lanes for defenders to walk down to see some space. Oki doing a little bit of that here, but again, Loud ready.
Just a judge in a classic left. As Verdi pushes his pace.
Man.
That's, I mean, Verdi has played exceptionally well. I know it's only been 2 rounds, but that kid's the reason they're in the position that they're in. A flawless round as Loud take the lead.
Nice to see the different paces as well, right? Loud very controlled early on, knowing when to turn up the heat as well. But this is going to be the first big test of a round. And it's nice, too, because we're coming into rifle versus rifle. We're still before any ultimates getting into the picture either. So an honest round of Valorant coming up here. But what we've seen so far from LEV is they've taken a lot of liberties, creeping into this space out of B to start flanking into A. Last round, it was completely red for. I think Loud are going to continue to be wary of those moves being taken.
Certainly a necessity, as you mentioned. And it almost seems like, Bender, it's exactly what you were talking about. It's almost like they're expecting pushes on the extremities.
They are. Even Loud putting down an aggressive Brimstone smoke. That's trying to take over the control into long. But I like that Leviatán have stepped in front of that with Tex. An aggressive player, you know. Same thing with Sato. Peeking on this side. That's not good, though.
Tom's there to help. And Sato, the confidence already overflowing for the youngster.
That was real nice. Sato looked like he was in trouble, but Calm playing nicely with him too. Now he's looking towards short.
See if he gets any more threats, any more danger. The spike isolated in showers.
Beautiful.
And Verdi isolated in the crosshair of Sato. Great trade though, but you already see some of the chemistry.
That's exactly right. The playing off of each other, right? Whether it was Sato and Calm, you know, playing together for the first time, looking nice. They're on short, Pac's former teammate from M80. And now again, that duo play. This time though, Luke Show showing why he's up here. But 1 is all he's gonna be able to get.
So we're tied at 2 apiece here. I think you gotta wonder here if you're allowed, if you need to start exploring the other side of the map a little bit. I mean, that's twice now that they have tried slamming their heads into A through showers, and they've been met by Sato, and it's been brutal.
Yeah, the nice thing for Loud is that they layered a bit of conditioning towards the B site early on, right? We were talking about the Brimstone smoke.
I'm just shooting, bro.
Yes, you are. I agree. But again, Loud have been conditioning that forward B-long smoke, so if this round they wanted to actually play behind it, it wouldn't be a dead tell, just off the utility of what their intentions were.
See this flash coming through. There's that early change of utility. Once again, Loud, the opening moments of the rounds are the same. The strategy has not changed.
Ooh, maybe Loud reading this TP away from Sato. After the Haunt found nothing into showers, now looking for the reclear, but there's Calm once again with the drone. knows exactly what Loud are intending.
Crash invested, will it find its mark? Calm is already down, Sato arriving at the scene of the crime.
Oh no, that's the wrong way. Doesn't matter, your team's getting kills.
That's certainly utility you're going to want to have later on though, but it turns out Pancata can cover a multitude of sins. Oki on the swing, not able to get much more as Tax is left isolated. A 1v3 with numbers not on his side, the spike planted too. An opportunity for him to make a play, but such a low percentage. Loud take the lead back.
That was an interesting little escalation from Loud. They were fully revealed, right? Calm had good information that it was going to be the play into Showers, but it didn't really matter once there was no contest over that orb. Able to accelerate, go for the swing, just off the back of the Shark.
Nice birdie, porra!
So I guess they don't need to go to B. Doug, they're just going to keep hitting A, and it's working more often than not.
Yeah, it might be okay. LEV back onto Busted By. Couple volts to speak of. You can't imagine they're going to want to use them here.
Well, that's the frustrating part. Sato had the dimensional drift in the previous round, so now he's going to be sitting on it for a few rounds. See if Verdi has to use the showstopper himself, but now just trying to clear away on rounds like this when you're expecting a Judge or a Shorty to creep up into those close corners. That's exactly what a nade there accomplishes.
You see some of the Viper utility cycled up and down. This is normally where timings are played around.
I like that LEV go for the A stack this round. It's going to get pathed away from, but because Loud have been playing into A so often, they don't really know what the typical patterns are towards B. Who's showing, what util is being thrown over there. So LEV can afford to stack into A and not give away their hand immediately.
Meanwhile, Loud have done such a good job of playing around the middle of the map. They aren't really concerned with the extremities a ton.
I got you.
It's almost like they're willing to give them up, knowing that they're stronger there.
Well, we're down to 40 seconds now, Doug, and the spike is over by Fountain. We're going to need Kawa to run back over into the rest of the team. Luke Show's lurked on up, and here comes the showstopper.
Trying to find a target back sight. As Luke Show continues to push the pace, but wait a second, those are pistols.
What's going on here, Doug?
Potential of another Thrifty is at hand. King with an upgraded weapon. And the spike still not really made its way out. It's
the
10
round's
seconds
over.
left. They can find a way in.
Oh, that is a disaster. Loud just eat up the clock for forever. Don't commit into a site. And when they do, it's, well, their Gecko's on the other side of the map.
Thrifty.
So it'll be LEV stealing away a round. They were the ones that lost round 2 after winning pistol, so I guess it equalizes.
Sure.
That can't feel good.
No, what do you attribute that round to? Would you say that that's a little bit of indecision on the side of Loud, or did LEV do a really good job of denying those lanes?
I think it was definitely a bit of indecision. Of course, eventually they did get into the site, but they just lost those opening kills.
Right, and time was non-existent.
Yeah, Verdi's out there in front of the team. He only has Sky utility to play off of. And just got right-click classic, so it's unfortunate for him, but I think what Loud and maybe Robbie was expecting more of was a slower walk-up and being able to punish some eco-aggression.
Take a look at the first time Sato's going to bring an op into the map. This also happens to be the first time LEV are heavily flirting with Fountain control.
Yeah, Tex broke the dog, so the ops presence will not be known. Still, some attack smokes go down. Double smokes to threaten clearing that space is a bit wild. But it's kind of how Bind was progressing as a map once we saw it, right before we saw it fade away from the pool. A lot of teams would end up using their Brimstone smokes over on the B side of the map to take away those forward lines. And it makes these B players play with very little information.
It seems like Loud may be rotating away. And note, if they do commit to this A hit, they are going to be going into a Calm ult and an Oki ult.
It's okay, though, because they're not going to 4 players like last round, Doug. That's going to be the hope, at the very least. With Gecko, it's very easy to plant the spike and continue looking forward for fights.
We'll see if that's in the playbook as the wall goes down. Second set of smokes join them, and now that's the suck, and that's the ult. That's going to hit 3.
Oh, no!
Verdi and Pancata both down, but Robbie BK leading from the front there on the trade.
That's absolutely massive. Sato doesn't see him. Kawanzine has control over backside, and now this leaves our last 2 remaining members from LEV on opposite sides of the map with so much left to do.
How can Loud hang on to this? Trying to white knuckle their way through the site, through the rest of the round. Time is short.
Go get him, buddy.
And it seems like LEV are really not able to find footing in. What a mess. The swing is there. 1 kill will be claimed, yes.
Timed.
But there's just not enough. Wow.
That was crazy, because like you were saying, the combination piece there between Calm and Oki was beautiful, right? 2 instant kills, but then it's where the Gecko comes into play, right? Wingman's planting the spike, and Loud were able to creep up into these very forward positions that Sato's caught off guard. You know, scope down the barrel, doesn't know anyone can be over by triple. Players getting into lamps as well. That's where everything went wrong. Felt like after this double, like you're not expecting someone to be all the way forward in the brim smoke.
And then what a round from Robbie. 3 for him. Gives Loud the lead, and LEV call timeout.
And remember that Robbie, last time we saw him play on the VCT stage, it was EMEA and it was during kickoff, right? Gets dropped from Gentlemates. And we're wondering, well, is he gonna find a spot? He was probably wondering the same thing, but the phone call comes in from Loud to join this team heading into a stage 2 after a dreadful start to the year. And a lot of people are raising questions, right? This team is switching to now speaking in English, right? He's going to be IGLing this team after not being able to, you know, live up to the expectations he would have wanted himself to back in EMEA. But after a round like that, after, you know, now getting out to a slight advantage over LEV, he's starting to build that confidence. And when this guy is feeling himself on stage, you know it. If you're in the building, you're gonna hear him. He's loud, he stands up. If you're watching from home, we're gonna be going to his camera a lot because this guy does not shut up when he thinks he's better than you.
Ever the showman is the newest addition to the Americas stage. Again, a lean towards A from Loud. See what changes are on the other side of this after coaches were able to become a part of the conversation. It's much faster. Birdie peeking ahead of it. Calm had nowhere to go. A beautiful rollout from the attack. He got okay, honest in an awkward spot too. Beautiful hit.
Just the pace change out of LEV's own timeout. Verdi going for the pathing on top of the booth there. It was just beautiful. And you could see, like, Calm is coming out of showers, has absolutely no idea it's even possible because the Viper Wall is protecting Verdi's pathing. You hear those satchels. Well, we've seen him satchel a couple times over into lamps. This time he's going up high. And that is just exactly the change you needed to see.
And it wasn't just that either. It was subtle, but there was also a dump of utility outside of showers.
Yeah.
So where Calm, when he's trying to find escape, has nowhere to go.
It was in that area, right? Like on the exit path. I'm drawing on the minimap right there. You'd see back in the day, you know, Vipers have some Molly lineups, Sage Slore Orbs, if we're going all the way back into ancient territory. But you can do very similar things with the Brimstone, with the Gecko Mollies as well. Very effective.
See if we get a look at that rollout one more time, because that was exactly what Loud needed on the other side of the timeout. And listen, what we've talked so much about the newest additions to the team as far as players go. There's Verdi taking the pathing, and there's a spit that made things miserable for Calm.
Because he's got to take his knife out. Like, he's taking damage from that thing, too. Gecko's mosh pit is just a huge field to be able to sprint out of.
Yeah, the other thing that we haven't really touched on is both of these teams fielding new coaches. And that timeout was the first time both of them get involved in the conversation. For that to be the call on the other side of that is really impressive.
Now Lever buying up a bit around the saved off. Early Seekers again, we're going for pace.
This time Bird plucked out the sky, the orbital strike invested. We'll buy a little bit of time, try to segment them off, but Oki's in such an awkward spot. Fontaine committing to the plant. You see the buy, it's really just Oki here with Sato over his shoulder. An op in hand, forced out of the play though. As the spam connects, the op does too. Much more work to be found.
The ultimate
to try to get away, to try to stay alive and buy some time. Great suck, and now he pops on the other side, back out. The flash connects. 3 on the round for the duels. Make that 4. The ace on the other side, and Sato delivers. Welcome to the big stage.
In his debut map, Sato with 5, and that is a thing of beauty. That is an impossibly difficult round to play out there. You can see he's having fun up there with the operator, no less, that they built that round around. He's on top of the world there.
Yeah, I buy power ace for the youngster. Again, friendly reminder, there is a PC giveaway for the first ace of the week, and then any after that, $100 Riot gift card and $100 gift card for iBuyPower rewards. Every single ace, follow at iBuyPower on social media. And unlock your ace. Again, a filthy start for the kid. Holy smokes.
And again, I've got to compliment the teamwork there as well. Calm with another beautiful C as Sato's flashing off of that as well. It's all coming together in the micro element. Now King taking a little bit, but push back. That's exactly when that second player comes in, ready to go. Sato's sort of micro awareness of where his teammates are, how he can help them, how he can help them. It's really there.
Again, extremity control from the defense. Loud, again, interested in checking out A.
Shark time.
Let's see how much space it can clear. It is being followed. And now scoop back up. So U-Haul is Loud for the taking. Traded back though, and they're going to be able to snatch that thing right back. And there is a connect there. How much further can they go? A great trade out from Birdie. And the space they thought they had taken is now gone. Take a quick look at the minimap. Look at where Robbie BK is on the other side of the map. They're going to take the TP. It's just King here.
King's been waiting the whole time. He's ready, Doug.
Challenge for the crown. Can he hang on? They're going to drop the pit and try to quietly funnel their way through as the goo fills up their screen. King on the swing. Robbie BK down. Traded back though, and now the Thrash becomes a part of the conversation once more. It is going to...
It didn't get him.
No. How in the world did that miss?
It didn't even see him, Doug.
Last player standing.
That's Tex. It's all on to Sato now. Yeah. A massive first round, but an op in his position like this, surely there's no way in. The money's not great. He's got to cut his losses. He's got to get out.
And Loud are going to know that too. Verdi's going to look to hunt him down. That op that just got the ace, now nearly taken out of his hands, but Sato will shut him down.
Bullet right between his eyes. And we're checking on the youngster once more. We talked about it a couple of times. Sato joining Tier 1, and yeah, you understand why.
He's sharp with it, that's for sure. Already proven that in the first half.
13-5.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, Birdie's not so bad on the other side. 11 kills to his name. Solid debuts all around. And I've also got to commend there, Robbie sort of calling into his own lurk onto B long.
Cutting through.
After showing so many just full slams into the A site, now mixing it up deep in the half, constantly keeping Lev on their toes.
Oh, this is aggressive. They're fighting for this early space. They have not done this. Think about the last round we saw action here. It was off of a nade from Birdie to clear this space. But now the op is there. Oh, and Texas left behind. The bait and switch, not able to get another kill. But they try to speed up. Birdie from a distance with the shorty. And the side is theirs once more.
It's just frustrating for Sato. Yeah, sure, you find the one, but again, he has to teleport back after taking the shot. With his front line falling down, now he's forced back onto the passive angle. He wants to play the round, but he's also thinking about saving the op.
They did buy up around this a little bit too, so the value of that op into the next round becomes that much greater, but he's tagged, he's dropped. Calm's left in a 1v2, but I think the prize possession here is, yeah, getting the op out of the round. That's exactly what Lev will do.
Coming into this critical final round, there's a lot of things to keep your eyes on. First of all, it's Calm actually getting out of here, and he's forced to take the fight. No, 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 no! The op out of their hands. Don't think money's going to be good enough to buy into that. At least not without sacrificing armor, so yeah, it'll just be rifles. And what I was looking at coming into this round, either way, was the fact that we have big ultimates on both of our duelists, right? Birdie has been so effective pathing forward onto this A site without the showstopper. Now he has the option to do that himself. And I think what Loud are looking for is a post plant where already numbers are down, because you do not want to have the threat of the dimensional drift coming in on the retake with 5 other players behind it. That information is just too easily played off of.
Early pit from Lev down a short. Forcing Loud towards B. An area they haven't explored very much. The fuse has been lit. Birdie's out with the rocket.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Spike down.
What was that?
I think it was a spit. It was everything. They try to funnel out onto the side, and yes, Tex falls. But Sato there to help out. Still numbers the way of the defense, but they're so far away. They're just now starting to join the fold.
Plenty of time to plant the spike, but keep your eyes on King. He just booked it down A short, and it's him versus Luke Show and Hookah to determine the round.
He's got the pit, but is he gonna check this? Where's the discipline? It's not there. Luke Show's a step ahead. 2v2 now. And as the spike ticks away, Leviatán have to figure out how they get out onto this site. And how they do so undetected. Pancada on an island, 70 HP. Not much to speak of. The dog will not connect. So Pancada once again concealed.
Last player standing.
But Okeanos is there, leaving Lucio in a 1v2. Dinked up 41 HP now. And time is short. The spam will connect. And Lev gets a 5.
Clutch work out of Oki there. Switching over, making some people a little bit nervous, but they're going to have the time. Leviatán come within 2 at the end of the first half. And already, Doug, I am just loving what we've seen out of our new duelists.
Yeah, I mean, 16-7 for Sato, 15-8 for Verdi. And yeah, they're young, right? And this is only week 1, but the future of North American Valorant is bright.
Yeah, it is looking real sharp.
Nice!
Again, a 7-5 lead for Loud at halftime. We'll see how things look on the other side of the break. We will be right back.
Red Bull gives you wings.
A tightly contested affair between Lev and Loud here in the opening weekend of Stage 2 of VCT Americas. I'm Doug. With me on the call is Ender. And Ender, you made a point at the beginning of the first half round, really the duelist difference and how you felt like there may be a little bit of rub for Yoru on the attacking side relative to the Rays. I want to give you a chance to unpack that a little bit more.
For sure. I mean, like what we saw from Verdi on his own attacking side was a lot more of these like double satchel and explosive plays, whether that was, you know, into lamps or just hitting the sites in general. Yoru doesn't really accomplish that in the same way. You don't have the threat of reaching all the way into backside with your teleports. Those are going to get spotted out. So usually how you have to play and how Lev are going to have to play with the Yoru is a much slower, like macro style of game where they're going to look to, you know, fight around a lot of the extremities over orb control early on. And then find their moments in the mid-round where they can utilize the Yoru to maybe out-rotate Loud on the other side or sort of force Loud to put themselves onto the wrong side of the map. And then it'll come down to when those ultimates are online that Lev are going to have so many beautiful tools for just opening up a site.
A couple things I have to solve. I am being told that, I mean, you guys see it on the screen, but it is brief.
Pause.
It is brief. I'm being told that we are getting ready checks and getting back into the action. So right back into the round we go. Again, Loud up 2. This is Lev's pick. And I think you're right, and I want to keep a close eye on that, is how the Yoru really vibes on the attacking side.
I'm also curious how much Lev changed, because they did actually play Bind in the little off-season we had between Stage 1 and 2. They played in the Dashinia tournament. They were playing slightly different comp, but what we saw a lot from Calm in particular was actually just solo working on the attacking side. So if his team was attacking A, they'd go 4 down short, Calm would be alone in showers. B would be 4 long, Calm would be alone where he is right now, outside of Hookah. And we'll see how much they mirror that or how much maybe LEV use that and the expectations of that to throw Loud off guard.
This is a second dog used into hookah. And so Calm is doing a really good job of making it look like that's where the hit is headed.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, all attention towards A for LEV. They're going to get out onto the side and get the spike down for free.
I really like that as a pistol, using the tell of previous tape that Loud would have played to throw them completely off the scent.
Now they have to find a different thread to pull on. They're going to try to funnel their way out from heaven.
Okay, Sato.
It's another beautiful pistol for Sato. Still much work to be done, though. But all of the work is on the shoulders of Luxo now. That's another pistol.
Yeah, it's kind of the work where you're just inputting numbers, you know? Like you've got the sheet in front of you, you put it into the computer, now it's just looking that simple for Sato. With the ghost buy on the pistol. Now the challenge for LEV here, Doug, is you got to win the second round.
Right. You do not want to repeat those mistakes.
Oh, that was nice. Even the repeat there.
One enemy. You were so close.
But it should be a little easier to control how they want to play this map. Whoa, what's going on? What's going on over in Elbow on that B site right now? It's a full-on stack. I think at the same time, Luxo might go for a quick creep down A short, and if he sees anything, the team can rotate. If he doesn't, then they have very good information to stick in this four-man firing squad on the B site.
Toxin screen down.
Luxo has done a really good job, as you mentioned, of getting further up, but now he can tuck. This is a really great setup. This spells danger. I have a bad feeling about this.
Doug, if it happens again, I'm going to freak out.
They very well may. They hear the spike going down, and that's a big issue that needs to be solved, and so far, so good. How much more can they do on the other side of this, though? All right. Crisis averted. Yeah.
We had to be nervous. We were contractually obligated to hold our breath. But yeah, very easy work. And I think, honestly, just the Gecko there made things so simple. They hit the site with only 3 players, which seems like really risky on the eco, but Wingman just means that you can kind of do that and hold on to long control. They didn't even necessarily need to fight forward if they didn't want to.
And I expected Loud to swing and try to fight as soon as they hear the spike start to go down. But either way, opt not to do it. LEV avoid a mess again, and we're tied at 7.
Lucky for Loud here, LEV haven't, funneled all of their orbs onto one player. A lot of the time on the attacking side of Bind, you're like, okay, if our Gecko can get some kills, get a couple of orbs, like this round 3, there are a lot of serious options to be able to convert. Not going to be the case this time around. I do think it's important that Loud play with a little bit more information on the defensive side of things. This map can be very hard to play if you don't have any forward lines at all.
Right.
Whether that's Showers or B-Long going to be the most common. It looks like B-Long is going to be the move for Loud here.
I wonder here at what point Robbie starts to use some of his utility to get info of what's happening on the other side. But with the threat made in hookah, they've got to realize where the danger's coming from. Hakata's already down. Robbie on the swing.
Oh, no bullets!
Really good target selection, but you're right. The mag was empty.
That's gotta hurt. Now the B site left completely open. Loud, I don't think you can play this round.
Not in these conditions, no.
I mean, it's worth going into, but Bind a map we haven't seen a while on the Americas stage. I mean, okay, we saw it in the last series, but bear with me.
Yeah, go on, go on.
But it is really hard just to retake sites on this map. Yeah. Like, defenders that lose the spike plant with, I mean, even numbers are going to be disadvantaged frequently. So you're going to see a lot of this, where in the mid-rounds, Loud are going to stack, very heavily onto one side of the map that they think they have the read on. They're going to fight to the death to stop the spike from actually being planted. And if they fail, well, 1, 2, maybe even 3 players might just end up saving on the other side.
So is that what you would say the defensive side of Bind comes down to, given the current meta, right? Is it really just a gamble? Because I would argue that you were saying it's hard to retake a site. I would argue it's also really hard to hold a site if you're the defense. So what are your options there?
It sort of depends a little bit on comp too, because I think you'll see that if you're playing like Vi's options as well, defense can really bunker down. And feel very comfortable, you know, stopping anyone from execing B with 1 or 2 players more often than not. I think the other way you can play is play very explosive early rounds, and not every round, again, but you sort of play to blow up the flank of the other team, and whether or not you can find an early kill or just create that constant pressure, you can box the attackers onto one side of the map and use that information to then play the rest of the round out.
Yeah, denying some of that info, denying some of that space. Not the approach here. Leviatán really far up. The flash goes behind him. Sato again strikes. Looking for the second and will find it. As Tex gets another. This is very quickly becoming the Sato show.
Yeah, and obviously like this one's a little eco play here, but this is maybe a decent example of how you playing with low information can be costly.
Yeah.
Because right there, you know, if you had any other way to get information than the Sky Flash, you're comboing Sky Flash and the Dizzy, right? And that 2-piece is, you know, not really beatable unless you have someone playing all the way down a mile away. But there they have to use the Sky Flash to get information, right? Because they're not playing off of one individual player's contact. Then Dizzy gets thrown up and it's just too late. It's coming in a little bit delayed. So I do want to see Loud, once they have rifles in hand, finding ways to get on the forward lines rather than just going for these, you know, trap setup ideas.
Yeah.
Wingman's planting.
See, LEV will take the scenic route around, commit to getting the spike down. I wonder how much they will hunt.
Spike planted.
Seems like they're interested in it, and Tex will succeed. He will find his prey. Leaving Verdi alone with nothing but a Sheriff. Tex now will have his ult going into the next round. Sato does too.
Flawless.
It's Chisoki who's now 1 step away from his as a flawless round gets LEV up 2.
And this is where the snowball effect comes into play, right? As soon as you win round 3 after losing the first 2, well, now we are beating you on tempo to ultimates, right? So now every single round for Loud coming out of this, it's a buy into a save, over and over on repeat. That's just how Econ works. For Valorant, when you're losing the majority of rounds, the difference is you're playing against a Leviatán team comp that has 5 monster ultimates. So now, like you said, you've got a Yoru, a Gecko ult coming online. You're still 3 or 4 points away on every single player of Loud before they can enter the game.
And that just makes this comeback. I know it's only 2 rounds, but it feels like 20.
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like such a daunting thing they're going to have to figure out and solve. And then when you you add on top of that, the fact that the 2 rookies for LEV are top fragging, this seems like a really tough nut to crack.
It feels really daunting until, you know, the teddy bears start getting, you know, shaken in your face.
It
you
kind of takes the edge off a little bit, doesn't it?
It takes the edge off, like, big time. It's like, okay, no, we call a timeout. Get a little breather going. Remember that in the first half, right, it was Leviatán that were starting to struggle in a couple of rounds. They called the timeout, and Loud's read coming out of it just clapped them, right? Yeah. So now it's Loud's turn to take that pause and see what the pivot is going to be. They're going to be gearing up 3 over towards the A side. I mean, this is a classic bind defensive setup right now with Sky and the Viper playing over B on their own after that trap piece they tried to run on B long last round.
Again, remember the ults. Oki 1 away. LEV with 2 more to speak of. The flash.
Here.
Clearing, there's nothing outside of showers.
Ooh, it's a more forward Viper Orb than Loud had been throwing previously. That one really threatens like a Sky Flash coming out of 3 players being behind it. So I think the LEV need to stick around in the area and re-clear this to make sure there isn't a stack on this B side again. That'll sort of delete this opening misinformation gambit from Loud.
They know now, and you've got to be careful. They're really far up. Both Robbie BK and Lookshow have to take a quick step back. Tagged up, they managed to find safe passage out of the site, at least for now.
And the utility coming in behind the Dimensional Drift too is just beautiful, forcing all those players back. They're tagged up, and now even aggroing into elbow.
Looking to fight for more space, for more control as Sato gets another. The flash rune, you feel this push and pull out from Loud as they start to get advantages on elbow. Line of scrimmage is being redrawn. The flash is pretty. The kill comes through. The 3v3 now is Loud have tried their damnedest, but have not fully found success in getting out onto the site.
1 enemy remaining.
And with Tex holding the line left and right. It gets so much harder right now. Calm is left in a 1v1 with utility in hand. Has to take a step back. Verdi on the tap, not committing onto it quite yet as the haunt is cleared. Verdi sticking it to half, and what a shot! But there's not going to be enough time. Beautifully played as Lev gets a 10.
Right down to the wire there. Ooh. I've got to say, for me, that round Tex ends up being the hero.
Oh,
right?
1,000%.
Him, and I didn't see who was next to him on the site, but he is just completely trapped inside tube in the post plant. Calm, who's, you know, playing for his life there a bit, he's stuck behind a smoke in hookah, so it's a 2-on-3 situation. Turns into a 1-on-2 for Tex here, having to deal with both different angles coming out of the tube. It's the work he did in staying alive. If he goes down on either of those two, the round's just lost.
1,000%. But with Texas Heroics, Leviatán now on a 5-round streak, 6 if you go into the previous half. Loud left with many questions, but the answer might just be the Guardian. It's a slaughter down in Fountain.
That was unexpected, right? Loud on what should have been an eco, getting some Guardians, taking that fight, now it's seizing the spike.
These are these messy rounds. Again, I'm reminded of the second round of the first half, and yes, the stakes are a little bit different, but these hurt.
Dizzy's up top. Launching smoke.
Especially when the map is this close.
Yeah, the game just turned into a capture the flag mission. You got to get that spike somehow, but Loud are completely camped on it.
I don't know that there's a real way in. I mean, you've got 55 seconds to figure it out. But I can't imagine they commit too much into this. They do have a ton of money, though, so, I mean, why not? See if Loud make a mistake. Unforced error, perhaps, and that's 1. Kill found. 2 is all little B. Loud get up to 8, and it was this aggressive fight down Fountain that was exactly what they needed.
Yeah, and even after that, like, you think 4v2, like, it should be easy to play the round out. By choosing to stick up there on the spike, it's pretty hard to navigate the positions you need to be able to play there to find good trade times and also watch all 3 different entrances to your side of the map. So credit to Loud for actually being able to be in position to trade each other there. This is finally where Loud have a shot in these rounds. Like, those 3 ultimates came back online, so stealing away that eco round has instantly evened the playing field.
All of a sudden, there's a possibility of a chance. They've weathered a lot of the storm. But there's so much work to be done.
Wow.
Already a great response.
I mean, this is the pivot from Loud, right? They've been getting beaten by sitting back on their laurels. Finally, they're taking the fight to Loud. The last 2 rounds on the extremities. And coming up huge in both of them.
You wonder here if another timeout might be coming soon.
Possibly. Right now, Lev just need to make a lot of presence up into hookah. You've still got King in showers, so eventually they're going to want to go into him. But rotating out of hookah so early, that starts to become predictable. Now, Loud have decided to stick Pancata over on this side of the map. Potentially just deny away the plants.
Smokes down, nades to do. Note Verdi has his ult and 2 satchels. And this round is far from secure. They might choose to invest it. The spike is down too.
Molly's late. And it's a fight to backside here, Doug.
And Oki has ult. Tex is really far up, and there's the rocket. Connects onto King. 3 for Verdi. It's all onto Oki now. 10 HP, he's too far up. He will get swung, and he will get taken care of.
Beautiful couple of round starts there from Loud, guessing right where Lev are going to be on the openings with the aggro, and then just full committing into the fights. I mean, that's all that is, right? that's not masterminding at work. That is just being more confident on fights, taking the fight to them. When Verdi's shooting like that, you're going to continue to give him those angles.
Yeah, it also helps when someone swings into your crosshair
Yeah,
for the
sure,
second
why not?
kill. Yeah, you take the ones you can get. It might be a little bit of aggression outside of sand here.
Ooh, yeah, changing it up to fight on the inner lane of the map now from Lev, but it's always this pack of 3 players that are ready to go behind Verdi.
I could have a flash, stim setup. There's the flash. Will connect. And the swing. But Oki does well to get his 1.
But look at the rest of the map, right? Lev are so spread out because, again, they're not playing Senti. They're trying to play a default round where they keep control of all 4 lanes. And now their map is a bit blown up, so they need to regroup back into B, clear out front sand, because you could have any number of a couple of players sticking forward in these positions. That's why they're taking things so slowly. And what this does, it eats away at the clock and gives Loud an opportunity in maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds to re-clear with a Dizzy and then potentially stack the other side of the map if it doesn't see anything down short.
Or even send one on the flank. I mean, got plenty of options here.
Okay, they're just going to go in.
The ult has been used, and Tex is dead. This is messy here. They're going to drop the orbital strike as well, but Sato steps out from behind the shroud and gets 2 kills onto the site. Oh! Make that 3, and Sato looks for more. Calm over his shoulder. Lev get to 11.
This kid's a beast, Doug. Getting so active into the site.
He's got 28 kills.
He's a monster. He's over 2-1 KD, right? 28 and 12. Absolutely beasting it. And in that play, too, I'm pretty sure Calm's support for this guy has been elite as well.
Agreed.
You have Verdi in the corner, who I believe is seized up there. Can you see it on the ground, the blood trail?
Yeah, he gets the assist. He does.
Like, what is going on?
One enemy remaining.
And those are the little things that...
Nah, you are too clean, bro. You are too clean.
I love it. I love it, Doug.
Again, these two youngsters coming up from Tier 2, coming up from their time together on M80, and taking the stage by storm.
It just feels like a completely different atmosphere up there for Leviatán, right? No matter whether it was like earlier in this year for Lev or even last year too. It looks like they're having so much fun, but on the other side of things, now a lecture coming in. I'll be having to listen to it and come up with a plan to claw back here. They had those 2 good rounds just leading up into this, but it is not easy to close out a map of bind on defense.
I mean, the timeline perfectly highlights what you were just saying. They win 5 rounds in a row, and yeah, Loud are able to punch back a little bit, but it's a notable lead here. Yes, it's only 2 rounds, but given the side that Lev are on, it feels like more. And then you take a look at the ults for Lev. They're stacking once more. Oki has his, Calm has his, and then you've got Tex one off of his too.
Now it's interesting, Loud out of this timeout have changed up the squads that are fighting. It's actually Verdi on the weak side of the map, with Luke Show next to him. Probably your best shots on the team, ready to go over there.
That's where the hit is headed. Collinzine spotting a couple, but pays for it with his life.
It's uncomfortable. Robbie is now isolated. He's alone on the site. Pancata up in hookah, but just there to take their ones.
Yeah, and they know where he is too. Now the question is, how much further do Lev push this?
And what about Luke Show, who's come out of showers? Here's all these TPs. He's ready.
Do they know? I don't think they know. Oh, they don't know. It's a disaster as Luke Show gets 2.
And there's still Verdi on site.
Tex trades back 2, and the spike now scooped up. It's a mad dash back to A. Can they commit to getting the spike down?
One
It's
enemy
just
remaining.
a threat now. It falls into 1v2,
Spike
and Calm
down
is so
A.
weak. Can Calm pull off a miracle? 1 kill spotted, but Pancata's there on the trade. The heroics from Luke Show keep Loud in this.
It was a really strange pivot from Loud out of the timeout, right? Changing up, putting Verdi to play so passively over towards A, but it made this teleport move so exploitable, right? Like, in what world is Luke Show going to be able to creep up out of there the one time Lev don't actually guard showers at the start of the round? And it's that just sort of puts Lev into an instantly losing position. They're going to go back into B now with the Shark to exec into the site. When these ults have been up, it has been quick out of Lev.
A stinger for Tex. Pancata has nowhere to go. He tucks in, and Robbie's there! Only gets 1, though.
Still, Collinzine into B long. And Leviatán, they've put King over on that side, so they don't have any util to flush him out. They're actually going to regroup back. Now again, because they didn't play anyone towards A, they are worried about Luke Show on the flank.
Right.
They're regrouping down into B long, but they can't commit every player. You've still got Calm guarding the flank because of how they chose to open the round.
That Thrasher from so far back. He'll get a second dip at it, so long is cleared, Octagon's cleared.
But you got to get past Kawa. You've got to get past Verdi for access to the site.
And that's so much easier said than done. The dog will tag. 40 seconds left on the round.
And they're all going long.
Kalenzine might be in a bit of trouble here if they don't fully clear him out. Again, still not tagged. Kalenzine does get his one, but traded back as King on a rampage. Gets his 2 out onto the site. Luke Show's left alone.
Spike planted.
Forced to retake the site on his own in a 1v3. With the pit in his back pocket, no real way to invest it. So many angles to clear. So many things to check. And such little time to do it all. Luke's just forced out of the play.
There's just no way.
So this will put Lev on map point. You take a look at the money for Loud going into it.
Oh, it's getting ugly, Doug.
Yeah, it's not great.
No chances to go back, take a pause for a timeout. No, you just got to think on the fly right here. This will be the challenge for Robbie BK. He said he's seen this attacking side 10 different rounds of it. Now he's got to think of some way to force an OT.
And look, let's give Robbie his flowers, because the way he's made some of the calls that he's made have been spectacular.
Sure.
But he's got to find a way to do it again.
It's going to come with early aggro, dipping back into what was working when they started piecing some rounds together. This time 4 players into B long. But Verdi hasn't been given a gun. They're leaving Verdi on a stinger. Is he satcheling through?
Maybe they go fast. It seems like the flash is up top. Oh, it's actually a clear towards Showers.
But they've left 2 players into long. They're hoping that Lev are going to accelerate and disrespect those early angles on utility. But Lev are keeping a very level head right now. They're not going to get fooled coming out of the pause.
Part of the issue is they don't really have any info of what's happening around them.
It's true, they heard 2 teleports, but what does that actually mean?
Right. And there's no way to re-clear it. And so with all of the space that Loud are taking through Showers, back into Showers, it gives the opportunity for Luke Show to pop the pit B.
Verdi is going to have a potentially very quick flank coming down to A short, but look at Calm. Look how Calm is pathing back towards spawn. He's going to have the first fight against Verdi. And if he deals with Verdi, the site is so easily, it'll crumble.
He's got to understand that this is not safe, but that's such a weird angle. Why would you ever be there, Verdi? Punishes, pops the ult, but there's no one there.
That's all right, they're forced to go forward. He's still on the hunt.
Second satchel through, footsteps heard.
Got him!
And the rocket connects. But Sato trading back. Down with a sliver of health. The spike planted. King waiting as you see the reinforcements start to arrive for Loud on the site. They're going to try to fight their way out from Showers as best as they can. Sato goes on a solo mission. Make that another 3 on the round for the Yoru. 3 is all it'll be, but that might just be enough. A 2v2 for the site pit now on the site. Kalenzine down. Verdi is going to have to solve it on his own. Can the newest addition to this roster keep this map alive? 3 bullets left, 2 targets to find, 1 second left. Verdi will fall. Lev take bind.
What a beautiful way to start things off for this new Lev roster. Okeanos and Sato leading the leaderboard for their team. Sato dropping a 30 bomb. Looking elite out there.